Building relationships with existing clients and friends is one thing, but how do you build relationships with a total stranger? My question to you is, how do you start a brand new conversation with somebody? Hey, Stuart here, and this morning on Tips for Success, I want to teach you 4 simple questions that you can put into your little pocket of tools whenever you're going out to, whether it's a networking event, a friend's party, a social, any gathering where there is a number of people and you want to start that conversation. You don't just want to rush in there and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Do you want to sell your house? Because what you're going to find is you might get a little bit of resistance. So how do we start these particular conversations in a manner that builds relationships that lasts a lifetime? So this morning, I want to share with you 4 questions, and these questions are so simple and easy for you to remember. The first question, and this is where you can go into anyone, and you can use any 4 of these questions at any particular time. So when do you plan on moving? Now, this question comes right out of the gates. When you just ask them straight, so when do you plan moving? What you'll find is you're going to start invoking a particular conversation that's going to say, hey, I'm not looking at moving now, I'm maybe in 10 years time, but it's not a direct question. Hey, I want to list your house. When do you plan on moving? Now, here's a little tip on this. If their response is, well, hey, we're looking at moving probably within about the next 2 years, this is your sign to make sure that you get their contact details, because that is what's regarded as a hot lead. So the first question that I want to share with you is, so when do you plan on moving? Very straightforward and very simple. The second question, how long have you owned your property? Now, this particular question really starts to get into a nice conversational piece, because you're going to find out a bit of a background, when they moved in, all the stories about their particular property. So, how long have you owned the property? Simple question. But here's a little tick and a trick to it. If their response is, hey, we don't own the property, well, now you can go back to them and say, oh, so when does your lease expire? Because this will actually invoke a further response of, hey, wait a minute, there's a potential renewal coming up of another property, or maybe they'll be in a position to buy a property. So the second question is, how long have you actually owned the property? The third question, and this is actually probably one of my most famous or favorite questions that I've actually asked people, is if you could move anywhere, where would it be? And this is a great question to have when you're in a group of individuals all standing around, and you can just open up and say, hey, if you could move anywhere, where would it be? And then just listen to the responses. You're going to get people saying, oh, my dream is to live in Hawaii, or go maybe traveling the world and live in Phuket. Or it could be, well, actually, you know what? We're actually looking at moving closer to a particular school. And they'll start giving you this particular information. You see, many people will start thinking big, but listen out for the specific individuals that are giving you exactly where they would like to move. Now, those specific individuals, you actually go up to them afterwards and you ask them the 4th question. And this is really a follow-up question. So if you wanted to move to this particular suburb next to the school, when would that be? When would you like to move? So really what you're doing is you're actually double backing that original question and saying, hey, if you wanted to move anywhere, where would it be? And then going, so when is that timeline that you'd actually like to move? Because this becomes that follow-up and really starts on that conversation. Now, with each of these particular questions, you're going to start building relationships. People are going to understand that you're a real estate agent, and you need to do one last little tip and trick. Have your business card ready. Now, I know business cards are something old, but have your business card ready. And when you've had that conversation, hand it to them. They will take it from you. And as soon as they take it from you, that's the key. They take your business card. You actually say, hey, do you mind if I give you a follow-up call after this particular event so that you can put their details into your database? And then you'll be able to make contact with them when they're ready to buy or when they're ready to sell. So those are my 4 questions that I wanted to share with you that you can use at any particular time. The first one, so when are you moving? The second one, how long have you owned the property, with a small follow-up if they don't own it? When does your lease expire? The third one, if you could move anywhere in the world, where would that be? And then the follow-up to that particular one is, if you're wanting to move, how soon would you like to actually move? Use those 4 questions the next time that you're at a social event, networking event, even a friend's party around the braai, and watch those particular responses. You're going to start picking up these new leads and actually start growing your business.